everybody. Do Hard Things Nation weekly wake up. And I'm Jay Tiegs. I'm your certified high performance coach, transformational mindset coach. And today, hey, I don't have Tom with me. I've got Zach Morel. How you doing, brother?
Hello. Doing good. Doing really good.
Tom's feeling a little under the weather today. He texted me last night. He's just really down. And you know, when you're sick, I mean, and Tom's pretty fit dude. So I know if he's saying he's down, he is down. So he is taking the day off. So I'm like, man, who am I going to get on this week to be a co-host? And if you've listened to any of the weekly wake ups, you'll know that Zach, you were the very first weekly wake up winner, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. So Zach is back. Zach has been he's been a member of the Forge Goal Crushing Mastermind community, and he's been doing some intern work behind the scenes and just been crushing it in life. So I wanted to bring him on, and I know that this was going to be anytime you come on a podcast your first time, you're a little nervous, right? But getting Zach out of his comfort zone here today a little bit, but he's going to be fine. So Zach, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are and what you do.
Stepping up. So yeah, right now I am currently in school for organizational leadership, but I started out as a physical therapy assistant. So I've had quite a few years working with people, kind of helping them get through hard times. One of the things that I didn't really like about doing medical work is just seeing people kind of go through a loop of things that just going through that repeated process of getting sick, getting better, getting sick, getting better. And it kind of tore me up. So I want to still help people, but I decided to kind of move towards a different route, looking into organizational leadership, and then also getting into high performance coaching as well.
Yeah, so we crossed paths. We had the march for Ukraine, and we crossed paths then. And you've been pretty well all in. It's been awesome to work with you since then. But your story is interesting, right? Because it wasn't all that long ago. Like, you were grossly overweight. And you know, smoking, drinking, I mean, not the lifestyle that you ultimately you were seeking a change. Tell us a little bit about, you know, old Zach, and what was the catalyst for your change?
So I mean, really back then, I mean, I was just living each day for the weekend. So I'd wake up, I'd do what I needed to do to get through the workday.
What does that mean? What
pretty much check out? Pretty much get up, go buy a gallon of of pop to get through the day. You know, be a gallon of Mountain Dew that I'm chugging through.
A gallon of Mountain Dew.
A gallon of Mountain Dew. Yes. No. Yeah. You know, you got those. Well, I guess it'd be a half gallon, but it's 64-ounce. Drinks from the gas station. You know,
so about the big like jug, like
the turbo jug size Mountain Dew. Yep. You got it. My camera's falling off here. Let me just adjust this really quick. I've got this little sticky thing that keeps it on my computer, and it's decided not to stick this morning. Hey, there we go.
Blair Witch shaky business. Cam. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so basically, I would get up, I'd get my Mountain Dew, I would rush to work, wake up at the last minute to do so, and just come home each day just feeling drained and exhausted and out of shape, out of breath, you name it.
What was your weight? What'd your weight creep up to?
At my very heaviest, I got up to about 250.
That's hard to believe, man. It's hard to believe that you were that big.
Yeah, it was definitely not my greatest time. You know, I felt terrible every day. So really some of the big changes for me, I have a friend that passed away at the beginning of this year, actually my best friend. But he kind of got me into, kind of got each other inspired to go out and start working out together. So we started going to the gym. I started seeing the results, and that really kind of sparked me to just say like, hey, maybe I should do this more often, do this on a more continuous basis.
How'd you guys meet, and how did he encourage you to go to the gym? Like, what was that about?
We'd actually been friends since we were kids, kind of drifted away for a little bit, and then became friends again after high school. So it really is just kind of hanging out with each other. We both got into fishing together. He had always been into fishing. He got me back into it. But we both were lacking a boat. So one of the big things that we figured out was kayak fishing. So we both got into getting kayaks. So at that point, we were kind of like, we were both out of shape. I believe he was he was a little bit more than me. He's probably still about 250 pounds, but he's about a half a foot shorter than me. So getting out there in the kayaks, it was difficult. I mean, loading them up onto the car, carrying them down to the launch, carrying all of our stuff. I mean, you could feel how out of shape you were, very quickly. So that was kind of one of the things that got us into going to the gym together. And yeah, we both kind of just fell in love with it. So that's really kind of what sparked everything off, is just getting into shape, feeling good about myself. And then after that, that kind of led me down the road to kind of looking into, hey, like, is there other ways I can better myself, better my life, be a little happier, not live every day just waiting for the weekend.
Yeah.
So that was a big catalyst for me.
Yeah. So you took an active role in pursuing happiness and finding the change, right? That you knew that there's a better way to live. Exact same story for me. I knew that there had to be a better way to live life. And, that got me down the path of reading and growth mindset and learning new things and connecting with the right people and looking at my habits, and it's the habits will make or break you, right? The little things that you will do, or like that half gallon, you don't realize over time, like how detrimental that is to your overall health and well-being. You do that every day, day in, day out. You just get into the rhythm of doing it. It's like it becomes a mindless habit.
Yep. And then you need it to survive as well. I mean, you wake up every morning expecting that amount of caffeine, that amount of sugar, and you get used to it. And after a while, you get used to also feeling like crap. But I mean, once you kind of get a taste of that feeling better, you're like, wow, there's a whole different world here. Like, like, and all it really took, I mean, really, the big thing for me when I stopped drinking those fountain pops every morning. I dropped 20 pounds in less than 2 weeks. I mean, really, the amount of sugar and the amount of calories and stuff that were in that fountain pop, I mean, it was just packing it on. So it really didn't take much to lose, a good amount of weight really quickly. And that 20 pounds really made that first bit of difference and make me just kind of wake up and realize, like, hey, I can feel better than I do every day. I don't have to feel like this. So
yeah. If someone's listening to this and they have the habit of like just driving, like they're just living through the day, they're just trying to get by, they feel awful. They know that their diet and exercise probably needs some improvement. What encouragement or advice would you give someone that's kind of in that routine? Because it's hard to break that cycle.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was finding something that I really enjoyed doing, and then having to make my fitness level match that. So for me at the time, getting out to do the kayak fishing was what was important to me. So to be able to get out there and do it better, I knew I had to get into a little bit better shape. So for me, that really helped out a ton, is just having something to attach it to, more than just saying I want to look good, or I just want to be able to tell people I lost 20 pounds. Like, no, I attached it to something that I needed. I said, hey, I need to be able to get out here and go fishing with my friend. And go enjoy myself, so I had to get in better shape for it.
No, I love that. As I've worked in the health and wellness space and as running coach, I generally won't take someone on unless we're training for something. And I know that I always have something on the calendar that I'm training for, because that desire to be better, because there's something out there that you're training for. And it just gives that added layer of motivation when you're feeling unmotivated, because it happens to everybody. But when you have that thing that you're trying to improve upon, and you had an accountability partner, right? You had a friend that you were showing up for, and we'll oftentimes do more for other people so we don't let them down than we will for ourselves. But having that extra layer of accountability is incredibly important.
Oh, absolutely. And it adds a layer of competitiveness too. I mean, you go out and you say, like, hey, well, I did 200 floors on the stair machine. What'd you do today? It's kind of, so it kind of added that fun to it as well. We did work out a lot together, but there were times where we worked out separately. And there was even times where he was going twice a day for a while before I did the 75 hard and started doing that myself. But yeah, so I mean, it was really nice to have that kind of camaraderie with it, that competitiveness with it, and that accountability, like you said, just having somebody say, like, hey, what'd you do today? Like, did you do anything? So if you didn't, go out and do it.
Yeah. No, I mean, that the competitive, I mean, I'm definitely competitive by nature. So that's another component to it. What's been the biggest thing that you have learned on your journey?
I mean, really just taking the time to invest in myself, that I'm worth investing into. I definitely had a lot of issues with that. First coming along, my confidence has come up quite a bit throughout this journey. At first, I didn't really think too much of myself. I thought of myself as kind of a waste, kind of just kind of floating on through like any little particle of dust you see floating by, kind of that mentality where I wasn't confident and I didn't feel good about myself, so I didn't have much value in myself either.
Mm.
So I feel like that's the one of the big things that I've learned kind of along the way is like I am valuable. There's things I'm good at. There's there's reason for me to be here. So I need to respect that. I need to value that.
I love that because oftentimes we wouldn't talk to our dog the way we talk to ourselves sometimes. The negative self-talk is pretty powerful. And that's definitely something that I've had to work on over the years. If you don't love yourself, how can you fully love or appreciate, anything else? And it's not an easy thing to do. It takes practice, and it takes awareness and showing up consistently to remind yourself. And as you go through this journey, you start to appreciate yourself more, you value yourself more, definitely when you're not confident in yourself, like it's, I don't know, it's paralyzing.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest thing that has boosted your confidence, or some of the things that you've done that has improved your confidence?
I mean, really, really just getting out there and doing things like this, putting myself in a situation that I don't necessarily feel comfortable with, and just going with it. I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is I'm going to look like a fool, but really, I mean, I haven't had anything turn out poorly so far, so I'm just going to keep on trying. And I'm sure I'll hit some points where I'm not going to be quite as happy with the risks that I've taken and with the courage I've put out there. But it's worth it in return. I feel like most of the time you get back what you give. So if you go out there and you put yourself out, you're going to get that in return.
It's been awesome. And when Tom said last night he was going to make it, I'm like, oh, well, I can do this myself. I'd rather have a co-host. Who can I bring on? I'm thinking of like some of the other coaches and things that I know that have been on the podcast before. I'm like, no, you know what? No, I'm gonna reach out to somebody who hasn't been on a podcast yet. We've kind of talked about it before, because that's my job, is to pull people out of their comfort zone. That's my superhero power, right? So yeah, I called you up, but I could sense the nervousness, but you didn't balk. You said you'd do it. You said you'd do it, and it's been cool to see. You're one of our very first weekly wake up winners, and you're currently doing 75 hard with your lovely wife Brittany, and you and your family. I mean, your kids were the weekly wake up winners because recently you guys went and climbed I forgot
Mount LeConte.
Yeah,
Mount LeConte. Yep.
Yeah, with your kids as part of our 9/11 9.11 mile Do Hard Things Nation. You guys did it virtual with the family. And it's just been cool to see you role model and lead the way and see the influence you have over your family. You and your wife did a 100-mile bike ride not too long ago. You just recently applied to be a certified high performance coach, which is a huge investment. A lot of unknowns there.
Yes.
You're working on your degree. It's just really cool to see you, like where you have come not all that long ago, and see the trajectory of where you're at by putting yourself outside of your comfort zone. And you're leveling up in so many ways, man. And it's been an honor to know you and work with you and just see the impact that you're having on your family.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been an honor to be a part of this community. I mean, really, I've been working on growth, as far as certain aspects of it. I mean, for a few years now, but I didn't fully really get into a full growth mindset really until this year, until I've kind of got introduced to this community. I've learned so much along the way. Throughout all my interactions with the community. So, I mean, I can't say enough about Do Hard Things.
Yeah. No, well, there's power in numbers, and that's the power of being around a tribe and in a mastermind. It's everyone's effort, everyone's abilities and talents, and it's a space where you can have deep conversation. I'm just facilitating the conversation, but everyone's input matters. I host the conversation, but every time that we have our weekly call, I'm learning something from everyone else's contributions. Like I'm taking notes. It's incredible the power of having like-minded people where you can have that space to have those types of conversations and learn and grow together. And man, that amplifies things significantly.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's just like having that friend or having that support. I mean, it's the same thing. It's a group of people that you become friends with. You originally start out just as people all with the same mindset, but I mean, you become friends with everyone, within the group because we learn so much about each other and share so many things with each other that it's very supportive. So it's
Yeah.
it's definitely worth joining into and worth being a part of.
What's been the most impactful book that you've read so far?
I'll tell you the one that really started to change my mindset first was extreme ownership.
Mm.
That was one of the things that I was recommended through actually through a job that I had applied for and didn't end up getting. The person who posted that job had recommended that book, and it really made me realize quite a few things about myself, especially about my confidence levels and just where they were at, like how low they actually were. Because I do feel confident about the things that I do know, but the way I present myself just wasn't coming off that way. So, I definitely had a lot of work to do on confidence, and that was kind of one of the big catalysts for me to kind of start looking at that and start realizing, like, hey, if I want to be a leader, I have to be able to exude confidence. I have to be able to do things that make me feel uncomfortable and learn how to be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Um, so,
Yeah, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink is definitely, when people ask me about leadership, that's usually the number one book that I will hand them first. And when I was a trainer over at the Engineer Basic Officer Leadership course and the commander over there for the lieutenants coming through, we would do a leader professional development on it. That'd be the recommended book that I would have people read first, because it's, when you're leading, you have to take ownership. You're responsible for everything that happens or fails to happen on the team. There are no bad teams, they're just bad leaders. And I like what you said about confidence. Confidence isn't going to fall through the ceiling into your lap. You're not going to wake up one day and like, oh, I'm confident today. So some days you may feel a little bit more confident than others, but confidence is one of those things that's cultivated. It's cultivated by doing hard things, doing the it's little things like, you know, getting up and finding, speaking, doing, I feel that I'm developing confidence when I get out and get into the gym and go for a run and put myself in uncomfortable. That's like a space where you can refine it because you're in a zone where you're uncomfortable and finding things to train for, like jumping out of a plane not long ago. That was something that was absolutely terrifying. But knowing that I can do that, with my wife. I mean, there's nothing that we can't conquer together because we did probably the most terrifying thing that there's the list of things that are more terrifying than that are pretty short for me personally, because I'm so scared of heights. But I feel like I can pretty well conquer anything now because I did something so terrifying. I got way out of my comfort zone. And the more that you do that, the more that, today coming on this podcast demonstrates that you're willing to get outside your comfort zone. You're leveling up every time that you do that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I have a little patch that I wear on the back of my hat.
What does it say? Life begins at the end of your comfort zone.
Just to help remind me, because I mean, it does. It really does. Like when you step outside your comfort zone, I mean, good things tend to happen. I mean, it's kind of crazy to see, how, reaching out to someone who turned me down for a job, became a mentorship, how, joining a group, putting myself out there, kind of has grown into me wanting to do this for a living, to become a coach. So I mean, it's really interesting to see how when you put yourself out there, how good things usually tend to come back to you.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the law of attraction. You put it out there, you put positivity out there, and positive things will come back. And every coach that I have worked with or talked to, like you have to walk this path. Like there's this awakening. Like 9 times out of 10, almost everyone that I've ever met had like this deep moment where they hit, their rock bottom. They had to take this journey of climbing out of it. It was so profound to them. It's the hero's journey that, that now they're in a space where they want to give back and help other people, because there's so many people out there that are stuck in that rut. They've got things going on, because suffering is a part of everyone's journey on this planet of some kind. So everyone is going through some form of suffering, some type of setback, some type of obstacle, whether it be an addiction or trauma or something to overcome. And it's kind of incredible to see the variances in that, but everyone has to overcome that, and they can either succumb to that or they can overcome it. And I know for me, I got to rock bottom where I wanted to tap out, and I'm like, there's no tapping out of this thing. We got to overcome this thing, and that's part of the hero's journey, right? And now it's like, man, I see what's possible. I see what's available out there, and I'm still a work in progress, man. It's never ending. It's ongoing. So it's awesome to see you on your.
I find out every week, in our Forge meetings where I'm like as soon as I feel like I've got a grip on it, I'm like, oh, there's a new area to work on.
It's a new, so, a new light bulb, right?
You're always learning. You're always finding out new things about yourself and the way that you work as a person. And that's what I really like about it, is that it really challenges me to really think a little bit deeper about some of those areas that maybe I don't. I tend to think that I tend to think pretty deeply about myself, my interactions, but when you start to look at it in a more structured sense, you start to realize, like, wow, there's complete areas of my life that I'm not really looking into as much as I thought I was. So it's always a new thing popping up each week.
Yeah, constant awareness, constant evaluation, constant. There's so many little intricate things in life that I don't know. I didn't pay attention to a lot of things, but now that I'm more aware of them, I don't know, makes it easier to tackle and overcome and work on, and life's profoundly better than what it used to be.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely agree. I tell, my wife Britt about that all the time. I'm like, man, just to think about where I was, several years ago compared to now, like, I mean, even though I'm doing hard things and my body's exhausted half the times, I'm tired sometimes, but it's like my mood in general and, completely encompassing is so much better than what it used to be,
Why do you think that is?
I feel like it's because I'm waking up every day with purpose. Instead of
waking up with purpose,
instead of just waking up, going into my zombie routine, like I said, joining, plugging into the matrix each morning, and staying plugged in. I mean, it's a whole lot different when you're out and you're awake and you're alive and you're experiencing life, instead of just waiting until the weekend, to have a little bit of fun with your friends.
Yeah. I definitely live that, but I felt purpose in the military, but I had a job in a factory before that, and holy cow, that was miserable. Just working for the paycheck. I think back then, I worked at a place called True Manufacturing, and it was for most people in my neck of the woods, like True Manufacturing, was a lot of people would graduate high school and go work there because they started off at a pretty good wage. Back then, minimum wage was like, I don't know, like $4.75 or something like that. It's like $15 now. It's crazy. And the factory workers, it was like $10.75 an hour. It's pretty decent. Had an apartment, living with my friend, and we'd work during the week. I do you could do 2 hours of overtime a day, so that was time and a half. So I'd work an 8-hour shift and then get the 2 hours, and I'd basically work overtime most Monday through Thursday, check out on Friday, go get the beer, get drunk Friday night, do it again Saturday night, prepare Sunday to go back to work, on Monday. And that was just the routine. Golly, it was so miserable and unfulfilling. And I look back at just what a waste of time. What a waste of time.
Absolutely. I mean,
miserable.
Yeah, because you're not, when you're giving away all that time, and just saying like, all right, well, we're just gonna get through this period of time so that way I can have fun this weekend. I mean, so much of your life is just getting thrown away. I mean, it's absurd to think about, to think for myself as well. I mean, how many years did I just kind of throw away or set aside? So that and that's something that, I do think about from time to time, going forward, is just that I don't ever want to go back to that. I definitely want to live my life with a little bit more purpose, and to feel like there's like a really good reason to wake up every morning. Instead of just feeling like I just got to make it through today, make it through tomorrow, make it through Friday, and then on the weekend I can live my life.
So what drives you now? What's your motivation, inspiration? Where are you going? What are some of your goals? What drives you?
My drive right now is basically to get started, get things going.
Get started in what? What does that mean?
Get started with my life. Honestly,
Yeah, because you're doing all this training and you're still wrapping up your degree and working on.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
so transitioning from, from physical therapy assistant, more into, coaching and leadership training and things like that. I mean, it's a very, very big change in my life. And it's something that really excites me. Therapy it was always something that kind of excited me because I do enjoy helping people. But it was never really my first choice. It was something that my wife is an occupational therapy assistant. I kind of enjoyed aspects of what she was doing, and I thought, hey, it's well paying. It's, it fits all the right boxes. So it's what I chose at the time, but it wasn't really like a passion of mine. Going into leadership and coaching, I definitely have a lot more passion towards this. I actually started my degree, for project management, and then took an organizational leadership class, and just fell in love with the way that it was structured, because it does have a lot of similarities to, high performance and coaching as well. It talks a lot about, understanding yourself, understanding the people you're working with, emotional intelligence. I mean, name it. You go down the list, and you're learning a lot about yourself, and that really it was really kind of an eye opener. It was like, oh wow, I really enjoy kind of learning more about how I tick. So it's something that really excites me going forward, is starting a whole new life doing something that I can be excited about.
That's awesome, man. There's nothing more rewarding, in my opinion, for me personally, than coaching, teaching, and mentoring. That's one of the things I've appreciated about my time in service. And when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do when I grew up and finally took off the uniform, like when I fell into this, like I love running coaching. I have the opportunity to be a professor at university. I'm coaching now, facilitating group workshops, and I absolutely love it. There's just something about it where you're able to serve others and help other people like gain new insights to make their life better. Man, there's nothing more fulfilling than that. And for me personally.
Oh yeah, and that was one of the biggest takeaways that I took from therapy that I really did enjoy about it was helping people. It was great to
Yeah.
see people make progress and, get past that ailment. They don't have to just be, that broken hip that they had for a short period of time. They can go back to being themselves.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that I really did like, and that's one of the reasons why the coaching and the, mentoring and things like that, it all fits right in the box. It fits all those things that really kind of make me wake up and feel alive inside.
I love the fact that you're reinventing yourself. Like you're basically, I think people want to break out. They want to break out of the rut in the cycle. And they want to get into something new, and it's not easy to do. What advice would you give someone that might feel like maybe they're in like a career rut and they want to recalibrate? They want to maybe skill up. What advice would you give them to take the step to do that?
I mean, I would say that it'd be just looking into things that make you happy. So really kind of assessing like different areas in your life that you really do enjoy, or different parts of your job that maybe you really enjoy. I'm sure everybody has a certain amount of hatred for their job when it's just a job, and everybody has certain things they like about their job. So it's really looking at what are those things that I like about this job, and how could I apply that in a way that I feel better about, to where I'm more in control of the goals and where the direction's headed with it. And that was so for me, that was one of the big things, is looking at that and saying, hey, if I go into consulting, coaching, and things like that, I have a little bit more control over my life, and how I want it to be led. And I don't have to be part of someone else's system.
Yeah.
So I would say look for the things that make you happy, and then see how you can amplify that.
Dude, sound advice, man. Then you got to take action. Then you got to take the action. You got to take the
Yep,
step.
exactly.
And oftentimes fear holds us back. The fear that someone else you may have an interest in doing something out in left field and you're breaking your identity, and people will hold themselves back because they're fearful for what other people might say of them, judgments of other people. Maybe if they do all the work, it may not turn out better on the other side. It's fear of the hardship that they're going to have to undertake to make it. But you gain clarity through taking action, and it's by taking those chances in life is where you're going to fall in. Because what we need to seek we need to seek a vocation that gives us a sense of contribution, that makes us feel good, that we enjoy doing, and that also pays the bills. And when you can connect the dots and make that happen, that's where you find those people that just absolutely love their work, and they get in those flow states, and they're at their peak happiness, right? And that's what I've learned in studying the most successful people, is that they have tried things, and it's not an easy path. Some people are like, man, how did you get so lucky? Well, they cultivated it, they created it, they had to do the work to get there, and they found it, and it's a necessary path if we want to find that. Some people find it faster and easier than other people. So
because some of the most rewarding jobs out there, I mean, they're not exactly advertised while you're in school. So you really do have to just go out there and look and find out what's out there, what you can get interested in. I know that was always kind of a big thing for me, is it's like, man, I wish somebody would have just told me what I was good at. But that's not going to happen.
Nope.
You have to be able to assess yourself and figure out what you're good at, what you like doing. Like you said,
you got to find your way. I mean, but the associate professor opportunity that I have with University of Research and Development, where I'm going to go down to New Zealand from time to time to teach, that was because of the podcast and the work that we're doing in the veteran community and coaching and doing the work to meet the requirements to be a college professor, to get that master's degree that I never thought I was going to ever get or even pursue. Things just line up, opportunities out there, but you gotta put yourself out there and keep trying things. And,
absolutely.
All right. Well, let's transition to my favorite part of the week, which is the weekly wake up, the Do Hard Things weekly spotlight winner. And this week, I'm gonna share my screen here. Give me a second. Where are we at here? Oh. Share my screen. Here we go. All right. This week's winner is Ashley Burton. She was nominated by her sister, Kate Ward. Ashley Burton is the assistant principal at Crocker High School, which is just up the road from where I live, small town. And she is the Channel 19 and yearbook instructor. And she has won, her leadership with her students has won and been nationally recognized for her classes production of their school's yearbook. And recently, she in that path of self-improvement, she started a Couch to 5K program, and is posting her journey and has inspired other women to get out, get up early, get out there, get after it. And she's gotten a lot of people to join her. And the Do Hard Things Nation is all about getting out there, improving yourself, being the role model. I mean, being a teacher and inspiring students, and I mean, that is one of the most noble professions that there is. But being able to inspire other people to join you is what the Do Hard Things Nation is all about. It's about self-improvement. It's about inspiring other people to step up and live a better life. And Ashley Burton is role modeling that through her action. And thank you so much, Ashley, for embodying what it is to be part of the Do Hard Things Nation. We're going to send you a shirt. And so keep getting after it. Keep grinding. Keep getting out there and inspiring others to do hard things. So this week's winner is awesome. Great job, Ashley.
That is really awesome.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. So,
heck yeah.
So yeah, that's great. So what else? Any other final thoughts?
I'd say, hey, if you're wanting to get a better grip on life, you're wanting to be happy, just start. That's it. Get out there, start exercising, start doing things to find yourself and to find what makes you happy. And just pursue it. Take that action.
Yeah. It's 4 lines of effort in your life: hard, health and wellness, affluence and wealth creation, relationships and development. If you're ready to level up, you're ready to take your life to the next step, you can join us in the Forge. You can reach out to me, and we can get you, I can answer your questions. Zach and his lovely wife are members. It's awesome to see you guys growing together and doing the work together. I think, and seeing the impact it's making with your children. So it's super awesome. But if you'd like to learn more, you can reach out to Zach directly and ask him what his experiences have been and cheer him on and go follow his journey, because he's definitely on an amazing path where he's inspiring other people. So Zach, how can people get in contact with you?
I'm on Facebook. I would say that's probably be the easiest way to, if you see me out there in the nation, get a hold of me. And that's, I'd say that'd be probably the easiest way.
Awesome, brother. We'll keep inspiring other people. Go follow Zach and see what he's up to. Ask him what his experiences are in the Forge if you're considering that. And don't forget to go over to dohardthingsnation.com. Go grab yourself some sweet apparel. Because like you said, like you got the patch on the back of your hat, right? I mean, you wear these things and it's almost like it's just a reminder. It's a reminder to pivot when we're not on our A game, because the human dynamic is we're not always on our A game. Sometimes we're tired. Sometimes we're cranky. But these little reminders, right, help us get back on the path and stay on the path. And that's important. It's part of the journey. So, well, Zach, appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for stepping out of your comfort zone, being an example for others, right? So it's awesome, brother. Well, for everyone else out there, keep doing hard things. We will see you guys in the next episode.